So recording now.
Okay,
I'm
so
going to take a look.
So we're Bruchim Abayim on Tezvav on Aleph, the bottom of the page, last line. Says the Gemara.
You press something?
Says the Gemara. This is all very well. Everything we said till now is all very well. So there's a big machlekes. When there's a lav anitik say, right? A quick introduction. There's a lav anitik say. The Torah says, don't steal. If you steal, give back the thing. So how does it work? How does it work? What is the mechanism? When do you get malchus? When do you get malchus if you're over the lav? So do you get malchus? So someone, let's say, the Torah says don't steal, and if you steal, give back. So when do you get malchus? Do you get malchus as soon as you stole, you chayv malchus, or only if you mevatel the essay? You can't give it back, you burnt it, right? So now you can't give it back. Is it now you get malchus when you mevatel the essay? Is that what gives you malchus? Or only if, or as soon as you over the issa, you get malchus? That's the shayla over there. That's the machlekes. Is it totally in bitla v'le bitla? You only get malchus if you cancel the essay, or do you get malchus as soon as you weren't makayim the essay? In other words, like this: they bring a guy to Beis Din. They say you stole. Bring Eidim. You stole. Give him malchus. Wait, you can give it back. So we say he's chayv malchus, but if he gives it back, we say get malchus or give it back. If he doesn't give it back, we give him malchus ala makom, right? Or is pshat, no. He steals, we bring him Eidim, says he stole, okay. And they're about to give him malchus. They can't give him malchus because he only gets malchus if he does something to stop him being able to do the essay. You can't give him malchus until he uproots the essay. No, he doesn't get malchus, even though he's over the lav. But he could be Mekayim the essay in 10 years' time, in 100 years' time. You can't touch the guy. Or no, you give him malchus straight away, unless, in other words, what's the status quo? The status quo is he gets malchus or he doesn't get malchus. We're going to see. That's going to be the whole shiloh of a massive sugya. We're on the bottom of Tesvav Amud Aleph, last line. Tesvav Amud Aleph, about on the page. So, if you say the whole shiloh is of bitla v'le bitla, this all makes sense. But if you hold of kimu v'le kimu, that you get the malchus as soon as you over the lav, you get malchus. So then, how does any of this make any sense? We're going to see what he means. Michael Mema. So says the Gemara. 1 second, hold on. So let me just explain the kasha. Let's see back on Tesvav Amud Aleph. Take a look in the fourth line in Rashi. So how the Amos Kol Yomav Ba'amoid V'Hachzekoi. We said that his whole life he has a mitzvah to go ahead and take her back. This guy's megarish. The guy is ma'anis a woman, so he has to marry her. And if he's megarisha, if he divorces her, it says Kol Yomav in the pasuk. Lo yechol l'shalcha Kol Yomav. Tell me that he always has to take her back, right? He has like a mitzvah essay now to take her back. So Gemara says that's all very well according to the Mandam says bitla v'le bitla. He has this mitzvah essay to always take her back. But if you hold the Mandam as kimu v'le kimus, he gets malchus as soon as he's megarisha. That's the Gemara's kasha over here. That's what Rashi explains. So Hadam is called Yom V'Amav Zakoi Asisa Lav Shenitik LeEsei V'Chavta LeZman Akai MeEsei Kol Yomov. According to this Rebbe Chanan, he's got his whole life to be Mekayim the essay. That's all very well according to the sheet of a bitla v'le bitla. You only get malchus if you actually uprooted the essay. Then you could have your whole life to take it back. But according to Man the Omar Reish Lakish, it says kimu v'le kimu. As soon as you're over the lav, you get malchus unless you Mekayim the essay. So then you don't have your whole life to take it back. He gets malchus straight away. As soon as he's this ma'anis, this megarish's woman, will give him malchus immediately. So turn the page. We're on the top of Tesvav Amud base. So Midihu Taima El Rabbi Yechanan. this is only going. This whole svara we're saying till now is going in the sheet of Rabbi Yochanan. The Gemara says, "Ha'omelei Rabbi Yochanan latana." Rabbi Yochanan says, "Bitlei chayav, v'lei bitlei pater." Rabbi Yochanan holds bitlei v'lei bitlei. He doesn't hold of kimulei kimoy. This mimer that we said is only going in Rabbi Yochanan, and Rabbi Yochanan holds bitlei v'lei bitlei. They only get malchus if you uproot the essay. If you mevatel the essay, then you get malchus. The Tani kamed Rabbi Yochanan. We have a mimer b'shem Rabbi Yochanan. Call mitzvahs essay. Anytime there's an essay, sheish bakum essay. Call mitzvahs loisa sheish bakum essay. Any loisa essay that has a kum essay, kim essay, sheba potter. If you did the mitzvahs essay, you potter. A bitul essay, sheba chayav. So we first remember Rabbi Yochanan. It seems to be saying that the only way you get malchus is if you're mevatel essay. He does a ma'aseh that stops him being able to marry this woman. For example, if he's a kohen and he's megarisha, he can never marry again. That's what the Gemara spoke about till now. If he's a kohen, he's megarish. A kohen is manus a woman, and now he has to marry her. He marries this woman, right? But if he's megarisha, the kohen is also to grusha. He can't remarry her now. So once he's megarisha, straight away, if he's a kohen, he should get malchus because now he can't take her back. Or if he's a Yisrael, we're going to see Rashi says, let's see if he's made the hana from her. He makes a neder, he's megarisha, he says, I'm not going to have any hana from you, so then he can't marry her either. That's the way for Yisrael to make it impossible for him to remarry this girl. So it says the Gemara, the Gemara doesn't like this raya from Rabbi Yochanan. Amalei, my comments, what are you saying? Kiyim potter, like kiyim chayev, bittel chayev, like bittel potter. Why does it say kiyim potter? This Meimer of Rabbi Yochanan says if he's mekayim it, he's potter. Like kiyim chayev or bittel chayev, like bittel potter. It should say one of the two. Either kiyim or like kiyim or bittel like bittel. This uses both lashon of kiyim and like bittel. Again, the lashon of Rabbi Yochanan was kometz leisa sheish bakum say kiyim esesh ba potter bittel chayev. It's much there's something in the middle. This is like a strange lashon. Kiyim potter like kiyim chayiv or bittel chayiv like bittel potter. Either it's telling whether he's mekayim or not mekayim, or it's telling whether he's mevatel or not mevatel. So Tani, we have a different way that was said over bittel over bittel. Really, he meant bittel over bittel. So this is a Rabbi Yochanan shita. Rabbi Yochanan shita is that whenever there's a lois essay attached to an essay, he only gets malchus if he's mevatel the essay. And Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish met kima v'le kimai, and Rabbi Shimon and Reish Lakish holds you get malchus as soon as you're over the lav if you're not mekayem the essay. So the Gemara is going to get into a whole it's one of the most lomdish of machlekes in serious sugya. What is a machlekes of Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish over here? Kima v'le kitmai bitla v'le bitlai. What's Italian? We're going to see Rashi. I'll give you a quick hagdama outside. Rashi says, what's the machlekes of kima v'le kimo? The Torah says you have a lois essay and then you have an essay, right? Is that essay just an option instead of getting the malchus? You're over the lav. Now you've got a choice, malchus or mitzvah, or is the essay an integral part of the lois essay? Is it coming to just, you've got two options, either take this punishment or that punishment, or that's not what's going on over here. It's a different mitzvah. It's a different avera. When any avera that has a mitzvah's essay on it, you didn't do the full avera unless you didn't do the essay. The essay is part of the avera. It's not a punishment. It's not a tikkun. It's part of the avera. That's going to be the machlekes Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish. We'll see in Rashi. Rashi explains it. So, but the Gemara says, and it's going to be a big machlekes. Rashi tells us what's going on over there. That's why I'm giving this little hakdama. Says the Gemara, what exactly is happening over here? So, b'mai kamifligi, what's the machlekes between Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish? So the machlekes is basra sofek. The machlekes of Rabbi Yochanan and Reish Lakish is whether a warning that's done b'sofek is a good warning. Is that called a good warning? Masava asra sofek shmasra. One holds that hasra suffix, a warning is given with a suffix. It's a doubt. You don't know for sure if the guy's going to do the avera. That's called hasra. Or masa hasra suffix loishma hasra. And the other mandama holds it's not hasra. So in other words, what's going on over here? When you give a guy warning, you do this, you're going to get malchus. What if it's a suffix? Even if he does it, it's a suffix if he gets malchus. Is that called a suffix? Is that called asra? So the classic cases, for example, a guy says, he makes a neder, he's not going to eat till the end of the day, he won't eat. He makes a neder, he's going to eat till the end of the day, piece of schnitzel. Right? Do you give a guy malchus if he doesn't do? We're going to see in the Gemara. You give him malchus if he doesn't eat? So it could be, you can never give him malchus. Why? Because when are you going to give him asra? You've always got to give asra. This is the sugi is built on this side. You always have to give the asra 3 seconds before he does avera. So when are you going to give the guy asra? He could eat. You can say 10 in the morning, you have to eat. He'll eat later. He'll eat later. There's never a time where you can give him the asra that if he doesn't do it right now, he's going to get malchus. It's always a suffix. Maybe he'll eat later. Maybe he'll eat later. We'll see the Gemara inside. That's a classic case. So let's see the inside. The Gemara says, each one is following his own shita. A guy makes a shvua. I'm going to eat today the sandwich. And the day went by, he did not eat. So did you give him malchus? It's machlekes. They both say you don't get malchus. Everyone agrees in that case you do not get malchus if you said you're going to eat today a sandwich, right? But why do you not get malchus? That's a famous rule. What did he do? He just didn't eat. So lav shem b'maisa you don't get malchus for. Lav shem b'maisa ain't like enough. You can't give malchus for lav shem b'maisa. But there's no problem according to Rabbi Yochanan that it's a suffix. There's no problem with a suffix. You can give a guy a thra, you tell him you better eat, you're going to get malchus. The problem is that he didn't do a maisa. Rish Lakish says, no, you can never give the guy malchus. It's always a suffix. That's not called a good asra. That's not called enough of a warning. You got to give a guy warning. If you don't eat right now, you're going to get malchus, and it's not true. You can never tell him that. Why can't you tell him the end of the day? Because I'm not sure the end of the day is. It's a suffix. I don't know, but you can never tell him. Maybe the last second you should be able to tell him, but it's a suffix when the day ends. I don't know what. But the point is that you can never give the guy hasra. That if you don't eat now, the kikkar, the sandwich, you're going to get malchus because he'll eat later. It's always a suffix. So we have a clear machlokes Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish. Rabbi Yochanan says hasra suffix. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with giving a guy a suffix hasra. Rabbi Shlokish says that's not called a good hasra. So what's that got to do with our case? How does this translate to the shaila of bitlei v'lei bitlei kim v'lei kimlei? We want to know what is this machlokes taliyid. The machlokes of whether the essay is connected to the lois essay. How is it connected? That's totally this machlokes hasra suffix. So take a look in the first white line in Rashi on Tesvav Amud Beis. So Rashi explains, Rabbi Yochanan Seiva Asra Suffix Shma Asra. Right? V'avagav dechol lois asay shenitik le'asay ledvar of Asra Suffix you. Right? According to Rabbi Yochanan, he has no problem. Every time you have a lav anitik le'asay, it's Asra Suffix. Why? You tell a guy don't steal, and he steals, yeah, but he might give it back. So it's always Asra Suffix. You don't know if you can give the guy malchus because maybe he'll give it back. It's always a Asra Suffix. But guess what? He doesn't care if you give it back because he doesn't mind. Asra Suffix, according to Rabbi Yochanan, that's a hasra. That's good. You can still give the guy malchus, right? Who? When this guy, he does the lav, he's over the lav, that's when you have to give him the hasra, the warning. He's about to steal. He's about to be megarish his wife. You have to say, if you megarish his anusa, you're going to get malchus. Omar shegomar alav b'bitel essay tolei. And according to Rabbi Yochanan, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. The lav and the essay is all intricately, it's part of the same, it's two halves of the same coin according to Rabbi Yochanan. The lav and the essay is part of the same coin, right? It's two sides of the same coin. It's part of the same avera. It's not like there's a lav and then happens to be there's a punishment or essay or malchus. No. You're only over the lav if you didn't do the essay. It's like one of the same thing. So it's a massive suffix. Is this guy going to be over when he's about to be Megarish's wife? Do you know if he's going to be? Is it Asras Vadai? No, it's Asras Sofik because he might take it back, right? It's definitely a Sofik according to Rabbi Yochanan. But guess what? He doesn't care if it's a Sofik. He says Asras Sofik, Shema Asra. That's good. So you give this guy Malchus. The finishing of the lav, to actually complete the lav, to do the lav properly, a guy wants to be over a lav properly, he has to be mevatel essay. He's got to show up and say, you know what, I'm canceling the essay. He's got to go ahead and make a neder that he's not going to be mekadesh this woman again. He says, when we give this guy a warning, don't be megarish this woman. There's a big suffix now. We don't know if it's going to be mevatel essay. He has to be mevatel essay to get the punishment. How you mevatel essay? La dira bano. If he says he asks her to be neder from him, so he can't marry her then, right? He says a neder, he's never going to marry this woman. Now we can no longer take her back. Only if he's matin and makes a neder not to be mehana this woman, then he'll get malchus. So Alma, we see from here, the asra sofik shma asra. That's a good asra, even though it's asra sofik. Even though we don't know if he's going to be mevatel the essay, if he's going to mevatel it by doing a neder or if he's a kayin, it's automatic. But we don't know if he's going to be mevatel the essay by making a neder. So it's a suffix. Anytime the guy's megarish. So how do you ever give malchus? We know you give malchus in this case. How do you give malchus? Right? If he holds bitloi v'loi bitloi, he has to go ahead and be mevatel the essay. He has to go ahead and be mevatel the essay by making a neder. He won't marry her again. When we make the neder, he won't be neder from her. So how do you ever give malchus? How do you ever give asra? And the answer is because asra safek, that's a good asra. He doesn't mind that type of asra. That's fine. But Reish Lakish holds. Let's see. Next Rashi, Reish Lakish sova asra safek loishma asra. Reish Lakish holds a warning that's safek. That's not a good asra. Hilchach. Therefore, im gomar halav toli bebitel essay. If the lav and the essay is dependent on each other, that you're only over the lav if you didn't finish the essay, lo yaya lav, he wouldn't get malchus for the lav because it's always a suffix. You can never give malchus in such a case because he holds asra suffix loishma asra. You have to have a vaday asra. According to Reish Lakish, asra suffix is not a good asra. Memela. So what does Reish Lakish hold? Ella. So Reish Lakish has to learn a whole different pshat over here. Ella. Halav mishigaresh nigmar vavela asraz vadai. As soon as he's megarish this woman, that's the end of the case. He's chayiv. He's megarisha. He's chayiv malchus. That's called asraz vadai. Right? You give him malchus straight away? Yeah, according to Reish Lakish, you give him malchus immediately. As soon as the guy's megarish a woman, you give him malchus. But there's an essay, you could marry her again. So the essay nitin li is tachas a malchus. The essay is just another option instead of getting malchus. You give this guy malchus. You say he divorces his wife. He's in Basin. They're about to slap him with. They're about to whip him. He says, "You know what? I'll marry her again." Okay, marry her again. You won't get malchus. But as soon as he's megarisha, now we got to give this guy malchus immediately. So in other words, according to Reish Lakish, the lav, he's over the lav, it's 100% vada. As soon as the guy's megarish his wife, he's over the lav. You don't have to wait to see if he's mevatel the essay to see if he's mevatel the lav, if he's over the lav. According to Rabbi Yochanan, you have to be mevatel the essay to be over the lav. You have to actually cancel the essay. Without cancelling the essay, you're never over the lav, so you can never give the guy malchus. His whole life, you could take her back. He was never over the lav until the day he dies. When he dies, then it turns out he was over the love. He never remarried her, right? Because as soon as you could always take her back. It's super complicated. According to Rish Lakish, as soon as he divorces this woman, and Taisa says, what's this whole mess about? It's like, we're going to see Taisa hopefully in a second. According to Rish Lakish, there's two separate things. One is the love, and one is the essay. As soon as he divorces her, he's over the love, and it's Vadai. That's Asra's Vadai. You tell the guy, don't divorce your wife, it's a Vadai. You get Malka straight away. Kima v'lei kima. According to Rish Lakish, as soon as he divorces her, he gets Malka. So the only way out is if he goes ahead and gives her a get and remarries her, if he goes ahead and remarries her, he doesn't get Malchus. So it says, let's one more line in Rashi. So it says Rashi, Ava'esei nitten lies tachas ha-malchus, uchashav lebesin oy kaiman, oy kaim, oy yilka. The whole essay, according to Rish Lakish, is a different essay. The essay is not part of the lav. The essay is part of the einish. When he's over the lav, the question is, do you now want malchus? They ask him, you want malchus or you want to marry her? And what you could ask is, Rabbi Yechanan, Yikasha Rabbi Yechanan, Nami, ikalamemu basras vadai, v'yisubai, kishabal vatel es ha'essay shu akiras alav. According to Rabbi Yechanan, Rashi asks a side question. Why don't we ever tell this guy, by the way, give the guy a hasra when he comes to be mevatel essay? According to Rabbi Yechanan again, the end of the leis essay is when he's mevatel the essay. That's when he's over the love. He's mevatel. So give him hasra. He's about to be mevatel essay. He says, I'm about to make a neder that I'm not going to be neder from this woman. Then they should give him hasra. Hey. If you mevatel the essay, you get malchus. Why can't you give him asra then? So Rashi says asra is not the asra is never for the essay. Asra is always by the lois essay. Give him asra now when he's about to be mevatel the essay. That's meaningless. You have to give him asra when he's over the lois essay. That's when he's over the love. The essay is never part of the. That's never when you give the asra by the essay. So it turns out, if you Rashi, the fundamental machlaikas is whether the essay is part of the punishment or is part of the actual lois essay. According to Rish Lakish, the essay is just part of the punishment. We ask the guy, you want malchus or you want to marry her again? He's about to get malchus, start whipping him. He's like, you know what, I'll marry her. Okay. So you got the choice. He was over the lav, 100% he was over the lav. It's asras vadai. It's not asras safek. It's a vadai. As soon as he's Megarsha, he's over the lav. What's the essay? The essay happens to be. Do you want? Now he's got a choice. You want Malchus? You want? Or you want to marry her? But according to Rabbi Yechanan, the whole essay is part of the Leis essay. He's not over the Leis essay until he is mevatel. He has to actually come be a daim. He never gets Malchus. According to Rabbi Yechanan, he never gets Malchus unless he's mevatel the Leis essay. Unless he's mevatel the essay. Sorry. Again, according to Rabbi Yechanan, he never gets malchus unless he be a daim is mevatel the essay. So a guy can be over this leis essay 100 times, a guy can steal 1,000 times, unless he goes ahead and burns this thing he stole, you never give him malchus. Because we're always waiting. You're going to give it back. Only until he can always give it back, so he was never over the lav. The lav is, take something and burn it and make sure you don't. Now, according to Rabbi Yechanan, what's the lav? The leis essay is, you do a maisa, you steal, and then you burn it, you eat it, you can never give it back. Then you're over the leis to say, give the guy malchus. Because man, you could give it back. You never finished Tavera even. So that's why according to Rabbi Yechanan, it's always a suffix. Asra suffix. So Rabbi Yechanan has to hold Asra suffix is Shema Asra. That's a good Asra, it's fine. Even though we don't know if he's going to for sure be over the thing. Now according to Taisus, we're not going to see it inside because it's very late. According to Taisus, well, you have actually. Let's just read it inside. Take a look at Taisus B'mai. Then we'll skip the first half. Just 4 lines from the bottom. V'yesh leima shema'ilem yamed k'moishu achshav. You always look at it like it is now. Let's skip another line actually. Hachanami yesh leima. 4 lines from the bottom in Taisus. Hachanami yesh leima. D'la'ilem le'yikaima essay. Vavi asras vadai. Avol Rabbi Yechanan the Tali Malchus bebitla essay havle mechusar maisa. Kolema the kolema is delay yasa shum davar v'lei bitl shum davar la yilka. What he's saying is like this. Taisus is saying that the whole shaila is what's the status quo now? According to Rabbi Yochanan, you only get malchus if you muvatal essay, right? So if the guy's over the lav, are you going to give the guy malchus? No. Right now, he's not going to get malchus unless he's muvatal essay, right? But according to Rish Lakish, this guy's over the lois essay. You're going to give him malchus? Yeah. Because for him, you get malchus unless he's mekayim the essay. So you always have to look at like, what's the situation now, right? Memela, says Taisus. So what's he saying? He's saying that according to Rabbi Yochanan, since we're looking at what the situation is now, right now he's not going to get malchus, right? Because he has to be mevatel essay according to Rabbi Yochanan. So since he has to be mevatel the essay, it's going to be asra safek. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's asra vadai. According to Rabbi Yochanan, it's exactly the opposite according to Taisus. According to Taisus, since he's going to get malchus unless he cancels it, so what's the situation now? He's getting malchus. He's going to go ahead and do a maisa to be mevatel it. So according to him, it's asra vadai. But according to Reb Shlakish, it's asra safek. Reb Shlakish says he gets malchus unless he's mevatel it. The status quo is now, so according to Reb Shlakish, it's partially gets malchus. The guy's over an avera, you give the guy malchus unless he goes ahead b'yadayim and cancels it. Sorry, it's a really hard sugya to, very complicated sugya. Okay, we'll wrap it up for today. Shachris.